If you're at the point of your hi-fi journey where you might want a new turntable, but a lot of the ones that you've been looking at require a separate phono stage or preamp, and you're not sure which one to choose, the iFi Zen Air Phono might just be a perfect solution without too much commitment. Believe it or not, after 20 years of collecting vinyl and listening and building a music collection, it wasn't until 2022 that I actually started to upgrade my stereo and think about my components. For me, the music is the most important thing, and I would argue that that should be true for everyone. I've always focused my time and my dollars into the vinyl and the library. But at some point, you're doing yourself a disservice with that massive collection if you don't start to think about the components that it's running through. And maybe you're thinking about upgrading to a turntable, something like a Fluance RT85 or a Project Debut Carbon, something that now requires a preamp or a phono stage. And I guess technically phono stage is the correct term that we're using here. This is what's going to boost the very low signal that's coming from the cartridge of your turntable and going to your stereo. And getting a good one is really important. For years, I made this mistake and had this very poorly designed and cheap phono stage because one, I didn't know any better, and two, products like this one didn't exist and more importantly, weren't that affordable. This is the iFi Zen Air Phono, and this is a $99 phono stage that's a basic version of their award-winning and widely used iFi Zen Phono stage, which is $199. I've owned that and used it for a while now, and I love it. Just a quick disclaimer here, iFi did send this unit to me for review, and they did let me keep it, but I'm going to give a very honest review on this unit, as you will see, and I did buy the more expensive Zen Phono stage first, based on a recommendation from Randy, the cheap audio man, who's awesome by the way, you should definitely check him out. And I wouldn't do any recommendations or reviews for anything on this channel if it wasn't something that I would use and spend my own money on. Just trying to keep this as honest and upfront as I can. I'm extremely grateful to Ricardo and iFi for continuing to want to work with me on bringing you guys some amazing content, so definitely subscribe and like this video so that we can keep this going. Let's now take a look and see what you get out of the box. First, we have the iFi Zen Air Phono. It is in this 3D printed black design with like a rippled texture here, which is very nice. Here's the front of the device with the subsonic filter button and the power button. On the back end, we have the connections with our ground and our moving magnet and moving coil gain switch, and on the bottom there's 4 little feet to keep it secure, iFi warranty card as well as a sticker, and the 5-volt USB power cable, which I would say this is an extremely short cable. They should have made this much longer. The iFi Zen Air Phono is designed in the same form factor as the iFi Zen products like the Phono Stage and the ZenCan Signature headphone amps with this retro, modern looking design. This one is all black, which I really like, and has a 3D printed design on it, and this is a hard plastic with a metal face, but it's still very solid compared to its bigger brother, the Zen Phono Stage. Connections are simple. You have gold-plated RCA inputs and outputs with ultra-low noise. These are engineered for moving magnet and moving coil cartridges, and you have a hard switch to activate them for your needs. And then there's a solid ground connection and the power connection. Connecting this to my turntable was extremely easy, and the low profile and the small footprint goes along with my preference for less things on my stereo shelf or for smaller stereo spaces like my second unit, which is primarily where I use this and we'll get into in a minute. The Zen Air Phono has the same subsonic filter found on the Zen Phono stage, which is awesome because this does make a big difference to clean up the sound coming from the bass, and I use subwoofers, so it definitely helps with your subwoofer as well. The main differences between the Zen Air Phono and the Zen Phono Stage start with the price. The Zen Phono Stage is $199 and the Zen Air Phono is $99. Then the connections. You get a balanced output on the Zen Phono Stage, and this can really help with adding something like the ZenCan Signature headphone amp, which has a balanced input, and you can see my full review on right here. The Zen Phono Stage has 4 gain settings as well to really dial in the moving coil cartridges. One other difference is the power units that come with each of them out of the box. For the Zen Phono Stage, they give you a very nice clean power unit to help reduce unwanted signal noise. with the Zen Air Phono, you only get a 5-volt to USB cord, which I was a little surprised that there was not a dedicated power brick, but it turns out to be very useful just to plug into USB wherever you can. The build quality of the Zen Phono Stage is a little bit more premium as well, but the sound that you're getting out of these in a normal RCA setup with your turntable is very, very close. I hooked up the Zen Air Phono to my setup with the Fluance RT85 and the Ortofon 2M Blue, and I really didn't notice that much of a difference. There is a great soundstage provided by these phono stages, and they both pair great with Ortofon cartridges. However, I'm primarily using this on my second setup, which is actually right behind me in my basement here, near my cleaning station, and this is hooked up to the same Duke Audio ST01 tube amp, but the turntable is the Technics SLQD33 automatic direct drive from 1986 with a Stanton L720 cartridge. This is coming out of some Yamaha floor speakers and a Jensen sub, and this is an extremely cheap used system. The turntable's not bad, Technics makes some solid products, but you can't adjust the tone arm or anything like that. That said, on this system, the Zen Air made everything open up a lot in this room compared to the previous phono stage that I was using, which is a cheap $25 thing that I bought years ago. Like I said, I didn't even know any better. So now I want to talk about some of the tough decisions when it comes to these two. In my opinion, they are too similarly priced, and their performance is a little bit too close that it's like for $100 more, you could have this award-winning unit, the Zen Phono Stage, that's highly recommended by audiophiles and really something that you can grow with and could be your last and only phono stage purchase. If you go with the Air, there is a good chance down the road that you're going to end up upgrading, and that upgrade should probably just be the Zen Phono Stage. So with it only being a $100 price difference, just save a little longer and get the Zen Phono Stage. Now, all that said, maybe you're like me and you've gone out and you've upgraded for a new turntable, speakers, sub, phono, all that stuff, and it's in your living room, and now you want a second unit somewhere else in the house and you still have all your old stuff. This is exactly what my case was, and as I've shown, I also don't need the balanced inputs or outputs in this because I don't have headphones down here. So the performance is great, and I didn't want to spend another $200 for a second stereo that I use half the time. So to round this all up, the Zen Air Phono is a $99 awesome phono stage that is a great first step for some, but being in such a close price range to the Zen Phono stage at $199, I would simply go with the latter if you could only have one. But if you need a second stereo unit or know that you will never want to use the balanced outputs, then the Zen Air Phono is a great choice. Honestly, these are both amazing units, and you're not going to be disappointed in either one depending on which one you choose. I hope this helps in any way with your hi-fi journey. If it does, definitely leave a comment below, or if you have any questions, leave those below as well. I'll try to help and get back as soon as I can. Remember to also subscribe so you don't miss any of the new toys that I get in the future. Okay, I've definitely said enough. I'm gonna go clean some of my new pieces of vinyl that I just got. I will see you guys on the next one.